Let me tell you, this is one of the super best questions you've actually asked me. Now, let me tell you what, the state governors, I call them the small emperors of the day, you know. They're not doing their jobs. They're not. And it will baffle, it will surprise you, it will surprise you that if 2% of the governors we have in the country were doing what they should do, nobody will talk about Mr. President. Now, everybody is focused on Mr. President. Governors are given money every month, every single month. So you have a fellow, I'll give an example of someone that I know. I like going back home to give an example. A fellow who was the governor of my state, former governor Otom, for instance. I mean, he used to sell pure water. He had a pure water company. He had, before he became governor, he had a pure water company. I just want to go back home. I'm from Benue State, so I don't want to go start from one state. I want to start from my home state. This gentleman had the public narrative, allegedly, they alleged that he had pure water company. That's all they had. He had a driving school where you could go pay money for young fellows to learn how to drive, right? But when he left government, this guy owns, I have 1 or 2 factories in Benue, so I know what I'm talking about, owns, including even furniture. Imagine a state governor opening a furniture factory. What are you going to do? Where's that gentleman who just got out of school, who loves carpentry, who just bought in machines from anywhere and set up a shop? The governor owns a furniture factory. So the governors have become emperors unto themselves. There's no check and balance. And you see, this is why I encourage the federal government to make it a policy to see how to just reduce. Let me use the local story, because most times I want to talk to everybody who is listening on television to understand what, so I don't want to use big English. The powers that these guys have. If possible, take away the immunity. In the first place, the reason why the immunity was there was because when they are there, they shouldn't be distracted so that they will do their job. Not achieved, 0. So the objective is not achieved. Let's remove it. The immunity is there, but they're not still doing their job anyway. So that when they start stealing, EFCC doesn't need to wait for 8 years. If you are the dumbest criminal on earth, you are given 8 years to put things together. You come out and the fellow, I mean, allegedly, it was alleged that he has built, in fact, it's been alleged that, because there are business people that I know that were buying scraps, old vehicles from government to go, you know, young fellows, young guys. That was a business for some people in Benue State, for instance, for years. Then I heard it was alleged that the governor opened a fabrication company where all the government-owned vehicles were bought by the company, allegedly refurbished and resold back to the government. What about the business people? What about the people whose livelihood? This is what the governors do. The first thing you have a governor coming to I have friends who are governors. I don't have anything about them. But this is our country. We have to fix it. These guys are the 70% cause of our problem in Nigeria. 70% cause of poverty. Now, let me just a second. I just want to land on this. Okay. Now, just look at this scenario. The governor, allegedly that the guy buys all the old vehicles, takes them into a refabrication center, refurbish them, sell them back to. So you have 2 people out of business. The contractor who supplies vehicles and the guy who buys old vehicles to repair and resell. You have a governor comes in, his wife is a businesswoman, immediately she's selling furniture, because that's the first thing they do, they furnish the whole. What I'm trying to say is this. If governors from the north, for instance, say, look, in the next 4 years, 60% of my budget, I focus on agriculture, plant trees, push young people who have gone to school of agriculture, okay, push them back into the farm, give him a HELOC, give him a tax. If you do well and we get this produce this year, you have 20% of it. Your commendation, you have to give someone, you don't just employ someone, give him something, motivate him. You don't need to go to Harvard to have some solutions to this problem. These guys don't. Do you know why the high cost of property in Abuja? Majority of the properties, legitimate organic business people own properties in Abuja. The second people are the governors. Once they come in the office, the fastest thing they do is buying property in Abuja. I know of one before, within months, he's got more than 20, 30. We're not even gone that. So, like the president said, go back and hold your governors accountable. These guys are so mean. I don't want to get so mad at it. I'm sorry about this, but it's very emotional. If these guys are doing what they're meant to do, you'll forget that Abuja is a destination. Except when you have something doing that. They don't. They buy properties, they buy cars. If governor goes and buy a car of 800,000, he must buy two. Because should in case something happens to the one he's going, that's $1 billion plus. We set up a factory. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.